What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you some Stepn content today. We also stream on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit more about the tokenomics of GST and GMT, the two tokens that are part of the Stepn ecosystem. And I've dove kind of headfirst into the white paper, and apparently there's a light paper too. I don't know why there's a light paper and a white paper. It's kind of weird, but one has fancy pictures and one has a lot more words. So we'll probably be switching back and forth here as I try to just dig through how this works, and then where I kind of see things potentially moving in the future. Now, I don't do price predictions on this channel, so I'm not trying to really get into that. If that's what you're looking for, I don't know. It's too difficult to tell. Basically, if anybody's giving you a price prediction, they're lying because nobody knows. But for me, it's just, I mean, there's too many factors in this. And as you can see with recent market moves, whether that's global macroeconomic factors or simple things within the game, such as China being shut down, or, operations in China being shut down, lots of things can affect the price, but I think we can gain some insights into where things go in the long term. Now, for GST, this is the earning token, right? So every time you go for a walk, you can earn this. You can earn GMT, but you need to have a level 30 sneaker. We are going to get into that in a moment. So what we know right off the bat is that GST has an unlimited supply and is earned whenever a user moves in solo or background mode. So GST is available on both Solana and Binance Smart Chain. So they got the contract addresses here, as well as the bridge information. Now, with GST, there are burning mechanics that are used to destroy the token, which is great, because if they just kept printing it every day, then we get too many and inflation would run insanely high and the value would just could be completely devalued. So in order to mint new shoes, you need to burn GST in order to repair. So every time you go for a walk or a run, you'll need to repair your shoe slightly. So you need to spend GST on that. Leveling up your sneakers, gems upgrade, unlocking sockets. There's 5 things listed here right now that require GST to be burned. So at least there is a burning mechanic in there. Now, if we go to GMT, it looks like the white paper only has part A available. So it looks like there's still stuff coming down the pipeline, but there's a little bit more to GMT than to GST. Now, GMT is the governance token, so there will be staking at some point in the future. Yes, GMT staking rules are coming soon. But right now, what we do know is that this token is the one that is hard capped. So we have 6 billion total that were minted and being distributed. So 30% of that is going to be given out to the move and earn participation. So those who have level 30 sneakers can earn GMT, and 30% is going to go to that. We're going to do a little bit more of a breakdown on the light paper when we get to it. So you see here the earning starting date. And again, we'll look at more of the light paper for that. Now, what's interesting here is GMT's earning is only available for level 30. So we already talked about that. It's mandatory to have at least 3 energy. So that's just a requirement for it. Now, this is interesting here. So each day, a set number of GMT will be unlocked to earn. The daily release of GMT follows an exponential decay pattern. And on the first day of the 3rd year, the daily GMT unlocked is exactly halved. So essentially, it's like a halving every 3 years, which is quite interesting. Similar to, I guess, the Bitcoin halving that happens every 4 years, but this is exponentially decayed. So every day it seems as though it reduces a little bit. And I'm not sure how long this is supposed to go for. They don't have that really listed out here, but something that I found interesting at least. And then if you want to earn more, the comfort mechanics on the shoe, and we can get into that in another video, but that is how you can increase your GMT earning formula. Now, the one thing you do need to know is if you're trying to earn GMT, there is an element of randomness. They call it the Einstein mechanics. So it's not, it's not, you're not going to get a set amount every single time is what it sounds like. It looks like they put these Einstein mechanics in there along with, your comfort mechanics in order to add some kind of crazy algorithm to help decide how much GMT you would earn. You'll still earn GST, but you can also earn GMT. Now, in order to level up your sneakers, there are certain levels in which you will require GMT. So the GMT burning mechanics we should be aware of is you need to burn GMT to reach level 5, 10, 20, 29, and 30. Levels in between these, you only need GST. And if you saw my last Stepn video, I had just gone up to level 6 by spending, or burning, I should say, 6 GST. And so you can also burn GMT to upgrade your gems. You can upgrade or mint all sneaker qualities and then burn GMT to redistribute attribute points. So there's a lot of burning mechanics here, but keep in mind there is a finite supply of GMT. There's a couple other things that you can do here. You can burn GMT to increase your GST daily earning cap. You can permanently improve the success rate of your all gem upgrade, permanently improve the chance of receiving a higher quality sneaker from opening a shoebox, and permanently improve the chance to receive 2 sneakers from minting a shoe. So those are your GMT burning mechanics. It looks like there's Schadenfreude pools here that users can subscribe to in order to burn GMT and permanently earn GST return from players' misfortune moments, such as receiving a lower quality sneaker or unsuccessful upgrade gems. So this is an interesting one. I'll have to dive into that a little bit more, but experience the joy that comes from learning of the failures of another. That's an interesting mechanic. And so at some point in the future for governance, GMT will have the option to be staked. And that's probably going to be what everybody's excited about and what I keep seeing in the comments here about this upcoming governance and DAO, which we are not going to get into today because I haven't done the full research on it, but it is something that is coming down the road. So a lot of the same or similar information here on the light paper, but again, it's got prettier pictures, so we'll have that at least. But you can see here, your GST's got the utility token, unlimited supply. GMT is the governance token. I have no idea why they swapped these. That got really confusing for a second. Now, what they have coming up in the future is the option to rent, which is really exciting and interesting. But I'm not going to really cover that because I don't know that that really matters from a tokenomics perspective. It's really just splitting of the payouts that you would get most likely in GST. So as we go down here, we can see a lot of the GMT tokenomics options for burning again. And I don't think that there's any new information here. We kind of went through everything in the list format on the white paper. And then here's another kind of list format to see the token burning. So this is what I wanted to get to on the light paper. Now this shows how all of the 6 billion GMT tokens will be distributed. So this first part here we already discussed is the 30% for move and earn. So that's going to be paid out to users with a level 30 sneaker. Now the second biggest spot, or actually I guess they're equally big, is the ecosystem and treasury. So I believe this is going to the DAO. It sounds like that's where it's going to start off at. There was a private sale here for 16.3%. After that, the team received about 14%. There's a Binance Launchpad sale for 7%, as well as advisors getting 2.5%. So that is your breakout here. I can't say whether this is like standard or not. It seems relatively standard. So 30% being delegated out for, or, reserved for move and earn, I think is a significant amount. But overall, there's a lot that's coming with the GMT token, and that's probably what we should get into over here. So this is the I guess distribution plan, and what they have is out all the way through April of 2030. So this is like an 8-year plan at this point to distribute all of the tokens. Now, I don't have the full details. They don't have the full details on how a lot of these others are going to be released, but I suppose you can just look at this on the monthly, or actually it looks like every couple months, every 4 months, every 6 months, who knows. and see where we will be from a total dilution standpoint. So like I said, not until we get to May of 2030. So I'm sorry, not April, but May of 2030. So exactly 5 years. Exactly 8 years from now, or at least from when I'm recording this video. Here is the roadmap. Again, there's the only thing that's coming up from there's nothing really coming up from a tokenomics perspective. In Q3, they have an NFT marketplace spinoff, and then Q4, the rental system. So that's the main information that we have from both the white paper and the light paper. So main takeaway for me, and I'm going to dig into this, is that right now it's really not that limited of a utility for GMT. There's a lot of ways in which you can use GMT, but the thing is there's 6 billion tokens, or there will be a total of 6 billion tokens. And if those are getting diluted at a relatively high rate, that could drive the price down because there's just, so many of these tokens coming into the marketplace, and maybe not enough buyers, or I should really say demand, right, to level up the sneakers to a certain point. Now with GST, and we're going to go back here for a second, with GST is simple, right? Like you earn GST. I'm not sure what the algorithm is behind it in order what the earning mechanics, but they do have, a whole, let's see if I can find it here. Earning. Yeah. So they have this whole earning mechanic kind of thing played out where you have, it's based on the player's average speed, your sneaker efficiency, system value, like it's total energy, movement speed, sneaker type, attributes, quality, and level, the gems that you have, and NFT badges. So there's a lot in there that goes into the earning mechanics. And, that's not something that I really want to dig into, at least definitely not for this video, maybe at some point in the future. But with GST, it's simple. You earn it and you can burn it for these specific things. Now, I think the biggest takeaway from reading this, and what I really want to share with you and what I want to leave you with, is the fact that ultimately GMT is hard capped. So when saying that, or when viewing the game or Stepn through this lens, if GMT is hard capped and GMT is required for leveling up and for minting new sneakers, the main thing that we can take away from this is that at some point in time, there will be a limited or finite amount of sneakers, right? So with the way that this, economy is designed, we know that there's going to be a finite amount. Now, there still might be a crap ton more, and I'm sure somebody may have done the math on this, and if they haven't, then maybe I'll try to go through and see what the max amount of NFTs would be, because if it's over 8 billion, then, we have too many people. We don't have enough people, I should say. We don't have enough people to buy up all of these NFTs and get everybody around the world walking. So however much that ends up being, well, and clearly it's not going to be 8 billion, right? There's only 6 billion of these tokens. And, I'm not sure how much is required, but again, that could be something for a separate video where we dig into the numbers. But from a conceptual standpoint, 6 billion tokens means there's a finite amount of sneakers, which brings me back to GST. Now, with GST, there are 5 different burning mechanics here. And in order to get the proper perspective on these, with the new lens, right, with the new context that the amount of sneakers are finite, several of these become irrelevant in the long run. So, for example, if there's a finite amount of sneakers, then shoe minting will eventually go away. If there's a finite amount of sneakers, then, repair will stay there. But leveling up your sneakers will eventually go away because we'll only have enough GMT to level up X amount of finite sneakers. Same thing with gems upgrade, and same thing with unlocking sockets, right? There's 4 sockets per shoe. Gems upgrade, I need to actually do a little more research on. But assuming that you can take out 1, 3, 5, probably even 4, that leaves only the repair option as a GST burning mechanism. And so when looking at the GST burning mechanism with only repair, right now, as I have been doing my runs or doing my walks, whatever, and going, I always earn more GST than I need to repair. So for example, if I go for a walk for, however many, 5 minutes or whatever it ends up being, or I think for half an energy cycle, it'll be like 2.5 GST that I'll earn. And then I need to pay 1 GST to repair my sneakers. So it's like a 40% repair cost right now. Well, that means that, over time, we will be flooded with GST, which could, in the long run, drive GST value completely through the floor, because there is an absolutely infinite value of GST, and we are going to run out of burning mechanics in the long run. Now, this is a dynamic game. This is a dynamic ecosystem that is constantly evolving. So I'm not trying to say this as like a doom and gloom type of thing, because I am sure that the developers are looking at this and already potentially have plans on how they can add in other GST burning mechanisms in the future, whatever those might look like, right? But as of now, the way that I'm reading this and the way that I'm understanding it is that GST as an earning token will continue to go down forever, essentially, right? Now, I'm not talking about like price moves, because of course, market pumps, we get a rush of like 4 million people that want to come in and buy NFTs and play the game or whatever and level up their shoes. Yeah, that could move the market up. I'm not talking about short term. I'm talking about in the long term. You have a highly inflationary asset here with 4 out of the 5 burning mechanisms being removed due to the fact that there are going to be a limited amount of sneakers, and only one burning mechanism that stays on indefinitely and will always be less than the amount that you earn. So it's something to me to be conscious of. I wouldn't necessarily say that, it's super concerning at this point. And as I learn more, hopefully I'll get, maybe I'll get the answer in this comment section. Maybe I'll get the answer in one of the AMAs if I can attend live and ask the question. But it's definitely something, just reading through the white paper, that it's very glaring to me, is what I should say, is how I should put it, right? Because I'm just like, okay, well, like, GST is going to lose its value over time. So right now I earn, X amount of GST per day that gets, that's able to convert to X amount of dollars if I want to pull it out, or if I want to put it back into the game and level up my sneakers. But keep in mind, at some point, my sneakers will be fully leveled up, right? And so what else would I need to use GST on? I would just be selling it and selling it and selling it like everybody else. And so all of a sudden that value goes down. And even if I continue to earn X amount of GST per day, if they fall through the floor, like the price of Luna, then what good will it be? So that's something long-term that I'm thinking about when it comes to the tokenomics for Stepn. Again, this is just kind of like early look at what they have, at least from what they've provided on here. Now, I do look forward to jumping into more of the AMAs and really diving into the ecosystem, because I do feel somewhat bullish on the space of move to earn. Actually, even more so than play to earn. I know gaming is huge, but gaming is very niche, right? Like, not everybody loves every game. So for example, on this channel, I cover a lot of Splinterlands. It's a trading card game, and not everybody plays trading card games, but everybody can walk, jog, or run, right? Doing one of those 3 as a way to do something, and as a way to exercise and improve their health. So to me, this has a much wider audience. Even if gaming has more people, like at the end of the day, if people are having an incentivized way to exercise while earning, or even just gamified, way to exercise, similar to, a la Pokemon Go, then this is something that I think has truly a lot of potential. And I'm hopeful that the team can get it right. So that's all I have for you guys in this video today. I know it went a little bit longer, but I did want to do as much of a deep dive as I could into what I've learned so far from the tokenomics. So hopefully this was helpful, or at least entertaining for you guys. If you have any questions, comments, or want to continue the conversation in the comment section below, go ahead and hit me up there and we can continue that. Otherwise, I will catch you all in the next video and I will see you around the game. Have an amazing rest of your day.